And that made me think about ghost producing again. As in, somehow it's so weird in my mind that with pop music it's so open and so normal to talk about these things like, oh, I made the song for this person and that person, and then when you look at EDM, suddenly it becomes this weird little awkward thing we don't talk about.
Yeah, but you know why? Because in pop music, generally, people don't pretend that they wrote it. They just perform the song, they sing it.
Mm-hmm.
In EDM, it's like guys pretending they have produced the song, which creates this whole vague, like, what are you really doing? Because those aren't MIDIs in the project file.
But what if I would
um,
what if I would not pretend and just say like, hey, this guy made my songs?
I think that the fans wouldn't care, and I think that's why it's so weird to me that there are guys out there that work with the team, and a lot of people in the industry know they work with the team, but they still pretend to not do that or not mention it, and I think that's a shame.
Yeah.
Because I think the crowd doesn't care where your music comes from. In fact, I think if they know you work with talent and you work with different people, they will respect if you show that, and it will make it just a bit more open and like real or something.
Yeah, I think it could be a strong point, but
Yeah.
somehow in
Mhm.
EDM it just feels awkward, and it definitely has to do with the part that you say, as in they try
Yeah.
to bury it in some kind of way.
Yeah.
But I can't really recall an EDM artist who is like fully outed, as in they say that they have a ghost producer and everybody's
No,
okay
it's
with it.
it's always a bit vague. Even with
Yeah, right.
David Guetta, where he always credits everyone. So there's he's known to work with other producers. He still doesn't fully give full details about
Yeah, that's
how
weird,
it's
right?
exactly made, and he still has these videos where he makes the projects or works in the project. So you never know if what's really going on. But yeah, I agree. There's some kind of weird secrecy about all this. But I
No, but
guess
the
it's
thing is,
maybe
oh,
maybe it's insecurity about those big DJs because they're like, man, if I don't even make my own music, what do I really do? So I better pretend I make this music because otherwise,
oh,
I'm
playing a
nothing.
good set is
Yeah,
also a thing. It's
DJing.
about, but what you kind of miss here, Joey, is it's not that somebody says to a certain guy or girl, "Make me a hit." It doesn't work like that. It's usually in the successful. I mean, we're not going by the odd ones out. I mean, there's always somebody that said, "Make me a hit," and it worked, but that's the odd one out.
Mm-hmm.
But usually, it's somebody who does have a certain vision of how it needs to be sound. He or she does have feedback. It's not that they're not in action at all. A certain a successful how do you say it
Collaboration.
exactly, always has a lot of dialogue in there, a lot of communication, and most of the time also a clear vision. And if that comes from the person who's not making the music per se, I mean, it's not usually not the vision of the one who makes it, the producer himself or
Yeah,
herself.
he's
You
just
know,
like
so
the yeah.
that's where yeah, that's kind of something you missed in what you just told
But
us. Yeah.
why do you think there's this secrecy, Ralph? And why do you
There's not per se a secrecy, but it's also not. We've discussed this before. It will never happen that in an interview somebody will say, "Well, I didn't make it myself." Why should they? You know, I mean, it's just not elaborated. I'm fine with that, to be honest.
Yeah, it's fun.
I think, but that's what I also said. I think the crowd doesn't care. And someone in the comments actually says, Colin, he says, yeah, it's only producers that care. And I can see that as well.
Yep.
It's like
Hmm.
producers care about it, but fans, they're like, whatever. I like this guy's show and I love his music. So why would I
You
even
know,
think about that?
and also I'm really annoyed by the people you just described Jopke, they get the tracks like all these long waves and they put them in their DAW and they go like, well, here you hear a trumpet and these are the beats. Man, you're full of it. Shut the fuck up. And I still see people comment on it like, wow, this and that and blah, 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 blah. I mean, then you're just Milli Vanilli pretending too much. You can also exaggerate. But the essence of ghost producing, or call it co-producing, I'm fine with it as
Yeah, me
long
too.
as it's the
Same.
vision of a certain person. And
Yeah.
also playing a good set nowadays, people are more critical. It takes more than just hot queuing the one record after another.
True. No,
Exciting times, man.
I'm
It's
on
all
board.
positive.
As in, I think people should be outing itself more if they work with a team. Like, I wouldn't be embarrassed. I think it could be a strong point because
Yeah, but to
being a
be honest, like almost nobody makes a big deal out of it. It used to be because there were like hordes of people online trying to flame whoever. I mean, we at one point had one track where Fabian Lense was on, and then we got flamed. I was making tutorials. I mean, what are you on about? People were just, it was like a witch hunt. But
yeah,
it's, I'm
that
actually
ended.
glad that that stuff that didn't contribute at all.
Yeah, true.